Hello my friends, it's Laura. Welcome back to my channel. It's time for another What Sold This Week video. And I'm going to start off with my Whatnot stuff because that's what I always do. I just finished my Whatnot show, and by just, I mean, I finished it 2 hours ago and I've been sitting around doing nothing since then. But we're going to get into filming this. I can't ship any of this today because today is June 19th, which is Juneteenth, and that's a holiday. So I can't go to the post office, but I am still going to get all this wrapped up. Partially because when I film my videos, I try to still look presentable for you. And that means that once I'm done filming this video, I can change into something that's even more comfortable than what I'm wearing now. And I'm very excited to do that. But let's take a look at what I sold today. Today's show was interesting. Ultimately, it was a little bit slower than my recent shows have been. I only sold 17 items. I made $300 before fees. That comes out to $259.21 after fees. There was a point in time where that would have been a really good, solid show for me. But fortunately, now that's kind of like just sort of an okay show for me. So I'm really happy that that's what I consider an okay show, but also I'm a little bit sad that I just had an okay show today. But it was, I don't know, it was good. Out of the 17 packages, out of this, the 17 items that I sold are going to 12 different people, 3 of whom are first-time buyers. The beginning of my Whatnot show started off really strong. I was getting a bunch of requests. I was getting things get bid up further higher than I expected them to, which was awesome, obviously. And then it just really slowed down by the end. I did end my show at noon, which is probably a little bit early. I feel like after 12, I can get a resurgence of audience. Maybe it's the East Coasters having lunch. Maybe it's the West Coasters just waking up. But I feel like it kind of bounces back a little bit after 12. But I was hovering around like 3 to 5 people in the room at any given time for a while. And when I say a while, I don't know what that means. Probably less than half an hour, but long enough that I was starting to feel like, okay, this is pretty slow. And maybe I should have held out a little bit longer, but I decided to just end it. And I mean, you know, it was fine. And when I say 3 to 5 people in the room, one of those people is me. So, you know, it's really, when I actually ended, it said 2 people, which was probably me and my friend who was watching to be nice and have a viewer in the room for me, which she does. But anyway, I am overall happy with the way the show went. So I'm going to go through some of this stuff and show you, and we'll talk about all of my little preconceived notions that are always incorrect, as usual. Let's get into getting all this stuff wrapped up though. So, oh my gosh, Whatnot keeps messing around with things that's really bothering me. Okay, so the first item that I sold is a really pretty dress that I love. Where are you? This dress, which is a Talbot's dress, not Talbot's, Jones, New York. It's a Jones, New York dress from like, I don't know, the 90s, I would say. It's so freaking pretty. Like, look at this print. Gorgeous. You know, slip dress. There's that little Jones, New York tag. Also, FYI, I'm using natural sunlight today, and the sun is wild. It's all over the place, and I just can't put these fucking lights on because it's like 700 degrees. So if the color light of this video is all over the place, I'm sorry. We all just got to do our best here. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying not to pass out from heat stroke. Anyway, here is this dress. Very pretty. This, I had the bidding start, I guess I had it starting at $20. It sold for $20. That makes sense to me because I think I probably paid like $9 for this dress, if I recall correctly. So, you know, I would ideally like to start it at 15, but when I'm paying $9, I can't justify that. But I think that the dress is gorgeous. So excited about it. So we're going to get this all folded up. You know, when the show was like sort of getting a little bit stagnant at the end, of course, I start thinking like, you know, that it's because of my inventory somehow. So when I was putting my inventory in last night, you know, I always have 30 brand new items per week, and then the rest is usually carried over from the previous shows. And in the past, when I'm doing shows and I'm only selling, like I did today, 17 items or so, and then I'm bringing 30 new items in, ultimately what happens is stuff kind of gets moved up the ladder and bumped off the end. So I take item number, you know, 1 through 30, and those kind of get bumped up and become starting at number 31 and move up through number 100. And yesterday, when I was updating all of the previous week's items, because I sold 30 items last week, and I've pretty consistently been selling between like 24 and 30 a week, I didn't have to shuffle my numbers as much, which means that the second half of the show items have been the same for a couple weeks in a row now. And so I was thinking like, oh, probably it got a little bit slower because people are coming in and seeing it's the same shit as last week and then bouncing again. And especially because last week, I think like my first 30 new items, a lot of those were ones that sold. So I felt like that was to blame, but also several of the pieces I sold today not only have been in previous shows, but they've been in a lot of previous shows and they got bid up today. So like that's clearly not the reason. The quote unquote stale inventory is probably not it. There may not be any kind of reason that I can look at and pinpoint and fix. Do you know what I mean? It could just be because that's the way it is today. That's what happens sometimes. My second buyer is a repeat buyer, as was the first, by the way. And she purchased, this person, whoever this is, purchased 2 items from me. The first is this dress, which I love, but I don't feel like it displays very well. This is like a 40s or 50s era dress. It's really beautiful. The first show that I had this in, I think I reserved it for the Tim Burton Raid Train, which happened, that was like May 14th or 15th. So it's been about a month now. So this has been in a month's worth of shows. It's really beautiful. And this sold for $20, which is what I started the bidding at. So I'm very excited that it sold because I don't feel like I do it a whole lot of justice. It doesn't fit me to model it. I suppose I should have done it on the dress form, but you know, there's only so much effort I'll put into taking photos for this kind of stuff when I'm selling them at prices like $20. Anyway, so this sold today, so I'm very excited about that. And I hope that they love it. It's a beautiful dress. I'm trying to fold it, you know, so that it looks pretty. Let's see. It's such a pretty dress. I think it's one of those dresses that when they get it in person, they're going to be so much more impressed with it than what they were seeing on camera because it just, you know, the color doesn't present super well. It's a shiny jacquard weave fabric that does not also want to fold nicely for me. This is such a mess. Okay. I tried. All right, the second item that they purchased was this 90s stretch lace bodycon maxi dress. This is really cute. I loved this. And this sold for, I think, for $15, which is what I started the bidding at. So no surprise there. Get this all. How did I get this on the hanger and now I can't get it off? All right, there we go. Perfect. So this is a 2-piece dress. I'm going to try not to it's like the lace dress and then it's got like a slip part underneath it. I don't want to take them apart. There we go. Yes, I got it. Get this all folded up purty. Get it folded up purty. So I'm debating tomorrow, which is Friday. There's basically a giant vintage sale in New York somewhere. I want to say it's in Brooklyn. I don't remember. It is, I think it's like a costume company. Like they provide wardrobe for Hollywood films and stuff like that. And I don't know if they're going out of business, if they're just doing a major purge, but whatever. They've been having a massive warehouse sale that started a couple of weeks ago, and it's continuing. But on their website, I keep seeing different dates. They said June 23rd, they said June 29th, and June 30th. All 3 of those were sort of quoted as the end date. So I want to try and go. And I don't want to go on the weekend because everybody goes on the weekend, right? So I want to try and see if I can go tomorrow. So I'm debating doing that because here's the thing. I'm going to need to drive. And now New York has this stupid congestion pricing, which means that it costs me like $20 just to get in to the city. Just the toll going in, $20. And that's before I've spent any money. I probably won't need to spend money on parking. I usually am pretty decent about not having to do that, but I don't know where the area is really. But And I don't know what pricing is going to be like. Like, I think it'll be good for Etsy stuff. I don't know if I'll be able to get stuff that's cheap enough for me to sell on Whatnot, but I also feel like they're getting towards the end of this run, whether it's June 23rd or 30th where they're ending. We're getting close to that. So I don't know, but I really would like to go to that. But also, I just want to stay home and not have to do anything and get some things done here at home. I don't know yet. I haven't decided. Next up is a repeat buyer who purchased 3 items. So first up is this purple dress. This has been in several shows. This is really cute. This is a handmade little number. And this sold for, I think, 15. Probably 15. Yeah, this sold for 15. I'm not even going to look these up. Oh my God, I'm sweating again. See, I've got the AC cranking. I don't have lights on. And I'm dying. All right. Other random thoughts that I've had. When I first turned on the camera, I always have to set my camera up before I start filming for you. I try and make sure that everything is good, that I'm in frame while I'm doing all this stuff, right? And testing it out. And I'm looking at my stupid hair. And so you may be able to guess this by looking at me, but I cut my own hair. I don't know how to cut hair at all. And I used to literally just take my hair like one small chunk at a time. I'd grab this chunk and then snip off whatever amount, and then grab the next chunk and snip off whatever amount, right? I just did that because it was fine. I have a very like loosey-goosey hairstyle. It's not super structured, obviously. So I would do that. But then I saw on all the YouTube, the tutorials for the wolf cut. And essentially, if you're not familiar with it, the premise is that you divide your hair into 2 sections. So this whole front section, right, like basically from here forward, you just pull it all forward into a ponytail like that starts here. So, right? And then the rest of it, you pull up into a ponytail on the top of your head, it goes up. And then you cut those. And then when you let it down, it makes all these layers. And I've done that 1 or 2 other times before. I'm always super conservative about it because I'm very scared of fucking up my hair. So it usually works out pretty well, and you almost can't tell the difference. Anyway, so this time I did it, and it does create layers, but like there's like a real big drop here. So there's this and then this, and there are some like in between layers, it's just not enough. So then I'm just standing here and it's just like this very choppy, and I can't fix that because I don't want to, like now I just have to wait for it to like not be like that anymore. Thankfully, when I do it all curly, it camouflages it a lot, but I was just noticing it on camera quite a bit when I was, what is this thing doing? Thank you. Okay. Setting up for you. Next item that this buyer purchased out of the 3, this is number 2, is this skirt. So this is another skirt that, first of all, it's really cute. I love this like Art Deco peacock kind of design that it's got going on. It feels like it's cotton. It also feels like it's handmade. I had this skirt again in a whole bunch of shows, took it out, put it back in, took it back out. Like it's been through the ringer a bunch of times. And today it got bid on. It sold for $10, which is what I started the bidding at. And that's great. But again, I'm like, oh, my inventory is stale. And meanwhile, half the shit I'm selling today is stale inventory. Stale. Third item that this buyer purchased, this thing is so freaking cool, is this. I just got this yesterday, so you just saw it in the haul, but this 80s dolman sleeve. It's so much fun. There's the tag. This sold for 15. I love crap like this. It's just like over the top, and it's got a great print. It's got a great silhouette. It's so cool. Love it. So that's the third item that this buyer purchased. So a little bit of older inventory, a little bit of newer inventory. Okay. Get the 3 of these things bagged up. I don't know if these will fit in a small bag today. It's the other thing that's nice about summer clothes is everything is smaller and weighs less. Let's see if we can get it in here. I think I can, but I think it'll be all squishy. But I'm going to try and save that environment single-handedly somehow. No. Okay, that's not bad. That works. Okay, cool. Next is a new to me buyer who purchased 1 item, and buyer has excellent taste because they got the peacock belt. Look at that thing, man. I don't really need my hand behind there. I don't know what I'm doing. I clearly watch too many like Instagram and YouTube videos because I find myself falling into that cadence, the speaking voice that they do, which every time I try to do it to make fun of it, I can't do it. But if I'm not trying to do it at all, then I fall into it. Anyway, and then now I'm doing this like hand behind the thing. Peacock belt. This thing is so cool. It sold for $15. I have one of these and I got it not that long ago, like somewhat recently. Mine is gold with that same exact peacock belt. And I was going to swap it out, but then I just decided I like the gold one better, which is weird because I'm not a gold person, but I liked it. All right, next, again, another repeat buyer for me, purchased 2 items. These are really cute. So the first one is this adorable little mini dress. I don't remember where I got this. I may have gotten this from the Vintage Stylist lady. There's a whole collection of haul videos from that. Epic. I still have stuff from that I have not processed yet. But I think I got this from her, but I had to soak it. And I feel like it must have had a stain too. But either way, when I soaked it, like I had to soak it because it smelled like cigarette smoke. It may also have had a stain. I'm sorry. I'm having thoughts in here that aren't coming out all the way. When I soaked it, it had some color bleed, which didn't really affect the dress at all, but the buttons picked up on the color. So you can't see it. They're like pink tinged. Anyway, the dress is adorable though. It's this very cute little micro mini dress. And it's in like a silky nylon polyester kind of fabric. So cute. This dress sold for $15, which is what I started the bidding at. We are going to get to some of the items that got bid up here soon. I promise. This one, the folding on this is almost pointless. This kind of fabric is so like slippery that trying to fold it is a joke. All right, friend, there you go. And then the second item that this buyer purchased was this little cutie patootie. I have also had this for quite a while. I don't remember where I got it. I think at an estate sale, but it had some staining and needed soaking, which I finally got around to doing. And this sold for $17. So I started it at $15. It got bid up a little bit. And that's great. And the other thing that's nice about this is this has been sitting in my giant hoard pile for definitely months. I mean, 6 months, 3 months, I'm not sure, but it's been a long damn time. So it's nice to like get some of that stuff moving. So, all right, let's get these 2 into their little bag. Oh, no. I'm making a mess over here. Oh, sorry. Squash. Squasher. Oh, this is going to be so silly. Okay. Aw. I'm throwing all this inventory on the bed, and Skibbs is on the bed all curled up and adorable. So I got to get these bags off the floor. Okay. Next up is a new to me buyer who purchased 1 item. And this one, this is so freaking cute. So this sold for $20, but I'm like 99% certain I started it at $15 because I like starting things at $20 because I like money, but I don't like starting things at $20 because I like being able to give people a good deal. And I think that's why people come to my show. And I got this dress for free. So I don't feel like I would have started it at $20. This is the kind of thing I would have started at $20 if I paid too much money for it, but I'm pretty sure that I got this for free. So this sold for $20. Started at $15, got bid up a little bit, but it's adorable. And of course it got bid up because it's so cute. And I barely showed it to you, and I'm sorry, but now it's folded, and that's the way it goes. So get this put away into its little bag. Okay. Next up is a repeat buyer who purchased 1 item. So this one, I wasn't sure what was going to happen with this one. This is another one. I've had this for a really long time, maybe close to a year. I got this off of a Facebook Marketplace purchase. There were a whole bunch of like vintage kids tees in there, and I've sold some of them off. I kept some of them because they're awesome. Like my King Kong t-shirt that you guys love came from this haul. I have another, it's like an Arizona like the state Arizona, and it's got like a Native American on it in these gorgeous colors. That's another one that like came from this haul that I've worn a lot in the show. Anyway, this is Alfred E. Newman, and this is the back of the shirt, and then this is the front. This was just really tiny. I couldn't get this on myself. So I feel like it'll fit like an extra small woman, but not, I don't know, like I felt like it was too snug for me. But the reason that I've had it sitting around so long, besides the fact that it's just small, is because it also had some staining that I wasn't having success getting out. And not only did I not get the stains out fully, I also kind of created some new ones. Anyway, so I listed it for $5. I wasn't sure if it would sell, like if it would surprise me and sell for more, because I've done, I don't know, either in haul videos or maybe an Instagram post or something, like I've had a couple of people ask about this shirt. And so I thought maybe it would surprise me and get bid up a little bit. It didn't. It sold for $5, which is fine. Like, it's also just nice to like not have the mental load of like, oh, really? You know, so another piece of the hoard is leaving. So that's cool. And hopefully the person who gets it will like be able to wear it or put it on their kid or whatever and love it. And, or maybe they'll sell it for $75. I don't know. I hope that they enjoy it regardless of how they enjoy it. Next up is I have a new to me buyer who purchased this suit. This is also a holdover from the Tim Burton Raid Train. This is like a 40s or 50s era, probably 50s era suit. It's really beautiful, two-piece suit. And this one has not surprised me that it's stuck around so much, because while I really love these types of pieces, the quality is gorgeous. Like, you know that I'm not like a plain navy blue suit person aesthetically, but these pieces are so stunning. But it's not what my whatnot crowd comes to me for. My whatnot crowd generally wants the stuff that I like, the obnoxious stuff, right? Like, I think that I've attracted my own people. But I do still think this is beautiful. This is also the kind of piece that would probably do a little bit better if somebody was seeing it in person rather than over a video. I feel like I should lint roll it, but I don't know where my lint roller is. Maybe I'll hold off on it and I'll lint roll it. So anyway, but this was listed for $20 and it got bid up to $24. So that's nice. I've had it for a month or so in shows. Nobody's wanted it, and today it got bid up to $24. So that's great. Next up is a repeat buyer for me who purchased one item. This one surprised me. Not as much as another one that's in the show though. This very pretty Talbot's top. This is a silk, like 90s era Talbot's, right? It's marked petites, but it's not really petite sizing, but it's beautiful. I love the colors on this, even though the sun is not working in my favor at the moment. Really beautiful colors. This like coral rose pinky color, and then this like nice silvery blue, gorgeous. This I had started at $15 and this one sold for $23, which again, I know it's not a massive jump, but when I've had this thing for weeks, possibly months, and nobody pays any attention to it, and then I do it in a show and it not only sells, but it gets bid up from 15 to 23, and it's only bidding in like $1 or $2 increments, you know? So that's impressive for this type of show. So I'm happy about that. It was nice. And again, it's like a nice little reminder that your inventory is not stale. Just because it didn't sell instantaneously doesn't mean nobody wants it. And then, you know, I extrapolate that out to like a longer time frame for the other platforms like Etsy and eBay. I hear a lot of resellers talking about like getting rid of inventory and redonating it if it hasn't sold in like 90 days, which is insane to me because I literally have stuff that sometimes will take like 5 years to sell. And I know that you're like, that's insane, Laura. Maybe it is. It works for me. You know, it just needs to see the right audience, and like, you know, it just, sometimes it needs to take time. I definitely do have things that sell very quickly when I list them, but I have a lot of other things that take a long time to sell, and I think it's all good. I can't imagine just redonating all this stuff. Like the amount of money you lose doing that, it's crazy. All right, so let's see. The next item that I sold is to a repeat buyer. It's this really cool belt. And so it's an old seatbelt buckle. And this one is like a legit old seatbelt buckle. Here's the back with all the stamped writing on it. And this company does still exist. It's called Buckle Down, and they do still make these seatbelt buckles, but it looks like they have the seatbelt buckles, how many times can I say that, manufactured. They're not using legit old car seatbelts any longer, which is still, it's still a really cool product, but like the fact that this was an actual car seatbelt was really cool. Obviously the checkerboard part was likely not a seatbelt at all, but the buckle part was. It's so awesome. Anyway, this sold for, what did you sell for? $15. All right, cool. Oh, sorry, buddy. Scaring my cat. All right, next up is a repeat buyer who purchased 2 items. And one of these was, again, a big surprise, but I'm happy about it. So first we have this. This was a new item, just got yesterday. This started the bidding at 15. It sold for 15. I love the print on this. It's so adorable. Is this a good thumbnail? Hey, hi. I always forget to do the thumbnails. You know that. Anyway, that's really cute. I love that. The problem with this skirt is it's got this adorable little metal zipper in the back, but the zipper doesn't have a lock function. So I dropped a tag. Hold on. So I'll show you. A lock, if you're not familiar with it, underneath the zipper, there will usually be just like a little metal pokey thing. And then when you push it down, it like locks into place. I wonder if I have, actually this one should have it. We're going to try and do a little lesson that you don't want. I don't know if this has one. It just, nope, this one does not. Oh, this one should. Hold on. How many pieces? Yes. So this dress has a little locking zipper. So if you can see right here, it's so hard to see. There's this little notch there. See, is this when I need to do the hand behind thing? So that when you put this zipper down, right, if I try to pull, it won't open. But if this is up, it'll slide down, right? So that locking function prevents it from being pulled open when you're wearing it. Clearly, very useful. This skirt is like laughably does not do that. Right? So like, just so easy to open. So I did disclose all of that in the thing. This sold for $15. I still think it's adorable. And if I were keeping this skirt, I would just probably safety pin it, because I like to believe that I would put like a hook and eye closure or a snap or something. I would not. Anyway, but that sold for $15, which is great. It's such a cute skirt. I'm so happy it's going to a new home. The second item that this buyer purchased was like my sleeper cell item for the show. It's this little half slip that I dyed by hand. This is like an apricot color. I love this. I think it's so pretty. I've had it in several shows now. I started the bidding at $15 and it sold for $35. I mean, fantastic, right? But that's almost my Etsy pricing. If I were putting this on Etsy, I would be listing it for $39, including shipping. But like crazy, right? So you never know. And it reinforces that lesson of like, probably not my inventory being stale. Okay. So there's those 2 pieces. Very cool. I was very surprised by that, but it was obviously a happy surprise. It was fun. And I love doing hand-dyed lingerie pieces, so I'll try and get more in there. I got to get more done. I need more dye. I get a little bored with some of the colors sometimes, but then when it comes time to purchase new colors, I keep gravitating towards the same colors I always get. So go figure. All right, let's see. Next up. Oh, is this my last? Yes, this is my last item. This item is so cute and got a little bit bit up as well. It's this dress, another one that I've had sitting around for ages that I had to OxyClean. There's yellowing to the underarms a bit, and it was worse. It's not showing you right now at all, but let's just look at the dress though. Look at how cute this is. This little picnicky pattern. How adorable is that? I love that. So cute. And the little rickrack and everything. Adorable. Anyway, I had this started at 15. It's 50s. It's cotton. It's really cute. But it had that underarm staining. I think I avoided soaking it for a long time because I was afraid it would color bleed. It absolutely did not. It was totally fine. But I've had it for a while, so it's another piece of my little hoard that's up and out. I don't know, the underarm discoloration may come out, but I didn't spend tons of time on it. You know, I know I soaked it one other time, but I may not have done Oxy. I may have just soaked it as like in Synthropol or something, you know? Hold on, I want to fold this so that the pattern is showing. I had it folded and it was fine, but like I want the cute little picnic dress pattern to show. There. Hee love it. And that's it for my Whatnot show. So you're going to stay tuned because I'm going to tell you what sold on all the other platforms, but I'm going to end this video and then go be a vegetable for a little while longer after I change my clothes and put on something that looks terrible and feels amazing, but I'll see you in a few minutes. All right, let's see what I sold on all of the other platforms this week. Before I show you that, I do want to apologize for getting this video out late. I normally record this segment of the video on Fridays. I do the Whatnot segment on Thursdays right after my show. And this week I had some other plans on Friday that took way longer than I expected. So I am recording this video on Saturday, and it's actually like 6:30 at night as I'm doing this. So again, my apologies for being so late. I know it's been a bad week. I didn't put a video out on Monday. To be honest, Monday I was super depressy. I don't know why. There was no specific reason. It just was. Anyway, we're getting back on track. So I'm going to show you what I sold throughout the week. It was not much, sadly, but you know, things are picking up very slowly. It's taking its time, but we're getting there. The first thing that I sold were these jeans on Etsy. These are vintage Levi's silver tab jeans. Here are all the little tags for those. So these were men's jeans. What was interesting about these was that someone had put darts into the waist. You can kind of see them right here. And I actually really liked the way that these fit me. I considered keeping them, but you can see that they're very short on me. So ultimately I didn't keep them, obviously, because they sold. But vintage Levi's silver tab, especially like the baggy ones, usually sell pretty decently. I had these listed for $49. They sold on Etsy for $49. I do free shipping on Etsy. Shipping was $9.20 because I sent it priority. I think they were going to California or something. They were going far. So I just used a padded flat rate mailer to send them. So $9.20 for shipping. So I made $39.80 on these. Next up is this cute dress. So this is part of a 2-item purchase that someone made. It was someone who had purchased from me previously on Etsy. So they had gotten the like thank you coupon that I send out for 25% off. So the first item they got was this dress. It was $49. 25% off is $36.75. The shipping divided out between the 2 items that they purchased came to $3.33 for this item. So I made $33.42. The second item that they purchased was this vintage like Y2K era slip skirt. You can see I had it listed for $29. With the 25% off coupon, it came to $21.75 minus $3.33 for shipping. So $18.42 I made on this one. Next up, we're moving to eBay. Yes, already, because I only had 3 items to sell on Etsy within the week. So that was sad. But on eBay, I sold this like sort of, I call these hippie skirts. They're, you know, these Indian cotton wrap skirts. I love picking these up. I feel like they don't sell great for me on Whatnot at all, but I feel like they pretty reliably sell for me on other platforms. So this one, I had it listed for $39. I sent out an offer for 25% off because on eBay, the buyer's paying the shipping. And I price it to like include shipping. So I send 25% off offers on eBay instead of 20% off. And so $29.25, buyer paid shipping. So I made $29.25. And I had only listed this a couple of days before. So that was nice. It wasn't up very long. Next up on eBay is this dagger collar dress. A cute little 70s shirt dress thing. Like it was a very soft rayon fabric. I had it listed for $59. It sold for $59. Buyer paid shipping. So I made $59. Yay. Next up is Depop coming through with another sale. And not only did Depop give me a sale, but it's a tie that I've had listed for about 422,000 years. So this was listed at $29. I had sent out a bunch of offers. Again, I was doing 25% off, and the buyer didn't accept one of my offers, but ultimately ended up basically sending me the same offer back. So they sent me an offer for $23. I accepted it. Shipping was $4.33. So I made $18.67 on this tie. So it's cute. I actually sell ties like, I don't want to say super regularly on Depop because I don't sell anything regularly on Depop, but as regularly as I can sell things on Depop, I sell ties. They seem to sell more there than anywhere else. So, okay, I'll take it. And then bringing up the rear is Poshmark with 2 sales this week, which is crazy town. First is this sweatshirt. I had it listed for $39. And I believe I sent out an offer for $29. So this is a sweatshirt I had picked up at the Goodwill outlet. It's a, Union Carbide sweatshirt. And the person who purchased this actually sent me a message. I forget exactly, but like either their father or grandfather had worked for the company, so they were excited to get it. So that was nice. I thought that was fun. It's one of like the fun parts of reselling is when you can kind of connect people with meaningful items and you get to learn about it, which is nice. So $29, I made $29 on this. Next and final sale was also on Poshmark, and it was these vintage Calvin Klein jeans. I had these listed for $69. I sent out an offer for $55, and I also did some partial shipping subsidy. So the buyer, instead of paying the full shipping on Poshmark, which I don't even know what that is right now, it's like $8 and change, I think. Maybe not, no, 8 and change. I offered them $55 and $4.99 shipping. So I subsidized $3.28 of the shipping. So I made $51.72 on these jeans, and that's it. Those are my sales for the week. A little slower than I would like, but there's always the following week, which I'm already into. Anyway, thank you so much for watching this. Hope it was helpful. I am going to do a video on Monday. I have one planned. I'm getting myself back on track with that as well. So sorry for disappointing you this week with my videos, but hopefully next week we're going to be back in a regular groove. So thank you so much, and I will see you again soon. Bye.